Modern scammers are treating EBT like free money instead of the safety net it was really meant to be. But today, they're flexing online and acting shocked when it gets taken away. But we're now watching people lose their benefits and have a meltdown on TikTok. So subscribe and let's get into it.
Baby, when people be like, girl, how you get food stamps? I wish I get food stamps. Bitch, you better start lying. Bitch, that lady called me and said, ma'am, I said, yes, ma'am. She gonna say, what's your address? I said, ma'am, I don't have no address. I've been homeless for 3, 4, or 5 months. I have nothing. My family won't let me stay with them, ma'am. I'm starving. While I'm kicked back in a motherfucking 3-bedroom and everything, living lovely. Then she gonna say, ma'am, what's your job title? I say, ma'am, they won't hire me anywhere. I don't have no job. I've been putting application after application and just like nothing work. Yeah, that lady was on the phone. She said, ma'am, I'm so sorry for all of this that you're going through. She said, we just shipped your card out. You should have about $1,000 on your card from last month and this month, and your balance and your payment every month is gonna be $300. And bitch, I was like, thank you so much, ma'am. Like, you just don't understand how hungry I've been. Let me tell y'all something. This was wrong with y'all. I know y'all mama ain't tell y'all. Bitch, you don't gotta tell everybody the motherfucking truth.
This is exactly how people ruin things for those who actually need the help. You're out here lying just to squeeze money out of the government, and because of people like you, someone genuinely struggling is gonna get denied. I hope you're proud of that.
Dr. Mark Hyman posted this post the other day, and I want to use it to show how people in this Maha movement make things seem very black and white because that's what's best for outrage and propaganda. This is very intentionally positioned here as an obvious thing that should be done, with an underlying message that public health experts and government agencies don't care about improving people's health and want to keep people sick. SNAP is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, formerly food stamps. I'm going to set aside the fact that I can't find that $12 billion number anywhere. I think he just made it up. The best estimates I can find based on the amount of money spent on SNAP and the estimated percentage spent on soda is $6 billion, which is half of that. I'm also going to set aside the incredibly misleading way he wrote this to suggest that SNAP, i.e. the government, chooses to spend $12 billion annually on soda, when in reality, SNAP dollars are given to recipients and they choose their own groceries. The reality is that this has been a major topic in public health for a long time, and there are many solid arguments for not restricting access to soda for SNAP recipients. Number one, it limits personal freedom to make personal choice, and they should have the same right to choose their own groceries as others. Also, health depends on overall diet quality, so if someone is consuming an overall nutrient-dense diet and they want a single soda in a day, they could include that in an otherwise healthful diet. There's also data to show that restricting soda could just result in people choosing other high sugar, low nutrient dense options, resulting in no improvement in diet quality. And lastly, there's concern over stigmatizing low-income populations, implying that they're irresponsible and not able to make their own food choices. So instead, the emphasis with SNAP has been to focus on positive diet changes with SNAP Ed, which teaches about nutrient-dense diets, and incentive programs that matches dollars for spending on fruits and vegetables, focusing on inclusion of healthful foods rather than restricting their access to soda.
Soda isn't essential for anyone on EBT, or just in general. The government isn't banning it. It's trying to reduce people using taxpayer money on junk food and anything of that sort. And honestly, soda is genuinely a luxury item. If you really want it that badly, should someone else have to pay for it?
Let's debunk some myths about SNAP and food assistance. So one myth that I've seen about SNAP benefits is that the people that use them just spend it all on junk food, and we should just send them like boxes of produce and staples. So firstly, that was actually done in the past by the US government, and it was incredibly expensive because those items go bad, and that's really, really costly to the American people. But do the people that get SNAP benefits actually use it to buy junk food? And how much? There's data to back this up, and unshockingly, it does not jive with what the Republicans are saying about SNAP recipients.
In 2011, the USDA studied what SNAP recipients were actually buying, and most of the spending is not on junk food. Instead, we have things like meat, poultry, and seafood at the top. Sweetened beverages, I think you could count as junk food. But then we've got vegetables, frozen prepared foods, desserts. I think, again, we could count that as probably junk food. And then cheese, bread, crackers, fruits, milk, salty snacks, maybe, depending on the salty snack. And then we have some other kind of non-junk food categories. So if we say this is 3, 10, 20% going to junk food, 80% of the spending is going towards non-junk food.
Today, President Trump decided to let children go hungry. Okay. The Trump regime has enough money to build a ballroom, to bail out Argentina, send them $40 billion. Oh, and also to spend billions on potentially a new war in Venezuela for no reason at all.
Well, it's not about the average monthly spend on junk food. It's about people who abuse the system and use it as a comfortable platform to stay lazy rather than using it as a safety net to get back on their feet again and start functioning.
Walmart is not being very helpful today. I loaded my EBT card on the Walmart app, and I'm trying to order me some water and some potatoes for dinner tonight. And it keeps saying not EBT eligible. And I know it's eligible on EBT or EBT eligible because everything that I ordered was food. So what's the problem? So I call Walmart and I say, check this, Walmart. Dig this, Walmart. I got nothing but food in there, in the cart. She said, let me take a look at your account. She took a look at my account and she said, oh yeah, it's nothing but food. Yeah, bitch, I just said that. So then next thing you know, she say, sign out and sign back in 15 minutes. So I signed out and I signed back in and it's still saying the same thing.
Systems glitch sometimes. It really does happen. Tons of people have been abusing the app. So of course, I mean, they're cracking down and doing maintenance. But what's there to be mad of? I mean, we all know you'll be trying again later anyways.
So the government is planning to ban food stamp recipients from buying junk food. I have a few thoughts. I know that some are saying that they are worried about the health of these families, but it feels more so like punishment or control. And the new Secretary of Agriculture basically said that if you want to buy junk food, then you need to buy it with your own money. That's control, right? I don't think that placing a limit on junk food purchases is a bad thing, but telling adults that they can't buy junk food doesn't make sense to me. And plus, a lot of our food is junk anyway. And to be honest, healthy foods are very expensive to purchase. So if families had to abide by this, would it affect how much food they could bring in each month? Would families only be able to shop the perimeters of stores? Because we know that most foods on the shelves are junk. I honestly feel like this could affect our students also when it comes to snack time. Most of our students eat junk. That would be another burden that you're placing on the schools and teachers. I don't know, it just feels like there's a target on certain groups of people, and I feel like we have other things to be worried about instead of whether or not the poor are eating junk food.
They're called benefits for a reason. If you're trying to use them to buy food that does nothing for you health-wise, it defeats the entire purpose of helping people in need. The system is meant to support you, not fund unhealthy habits.
There's this debate going on. RFK Jr. is deciding whether to ban EBT users from being able to buy junk food or not. And so some people are saying, oh, this is a great thing. Junk food is bad for you. It leads to certain diseases, and this is great. This means that lower income folks who are using food stamps are going to be eating healthier. But on the other side, people who are part of the low income community oftentimes live in food deserts where they don't have access to healthier options. But on top of that, healthier options are usually much more expensive. And so there are some, including myself, who are stating that unless you are going to lower the cost of healthier options or be sure to implement and build more grocery stores and lower income communities, then this shouldn't be a thing. At this point, the government is just taking away the autonomy of people living in lower income communities. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear your side of the argument, where you stand.
It's not about autonomy here. It's about promoting healthier choices. The government is basically saying that if you want to eat unhealthy food and harm yourself in the process, do it with your own money instead of relying on taxpayers.
My food stamps went from $4,400 in food stamps every month to $38. What am I supposed to get with $38 with 6 kids? How the hell am I supposed to support my kids on $38 in food stamps? Not to mention our disability checks on hold. Our Section 8, my rent isn't getting paid tomorrow. So I have to come up with $1,100. Okay? I am allergic to work. I can't work. I refuse to work. The whole reason I had kids was the amount of government benefits that you get for one child. And now, with the dependent age being 7 and younger, none of my kids are dependents now. None of them, because they're all older than 7. So how am I supposed to live? How do I feed my kids on $38? This is not okay. Not okay.
Well, what's not okay is having kids just to squeeze benefits out of the government. That's pretty wild and insane and very inconsiderate. People who abuse the system like that are exactly why these changes end up happening. It's about time you really get a job, take accountability for your actions, and instead of expecting everyone to carry the weight, you lock in.
One question for those of you who receive SNAP, EBT, food stamps, whatever you want to call them, benefits. Why are you okay relying on the federal government to feed your family, the family that you willingly created? Everybody out here is in an uproar about this mom who said that she used her EBT benefits to buy a pumpkin to decorate with her children. And I don't know, I have to agree. People are out here saying, why do poor people not deserve to have a pumpkin? If you are able to work and you are willing to work, we have spent years on this app with people out here doing grocery hauls of junk food that they bought with their EBT benefits. And yet now you know how everybody else feels when they can't afford groceries for their family but don't qualify for EBT benefits because, well, we're honest, hardworking people. I digress. At what point do you start to feel a little bit of shame, but then also open your eyes to these are the people that you voted into office? Do you understand and realize that the Democrats that are in office, like Chuck Schumer, are the ones that you put there that are keeping you with no food on your table? Do you know who they're also keeping with no food on their table? Federal workers. There are federal workers who are not getting paid right now. So if we can come to an agreement on anything, can we come to an agreement that the Democrats are absolute scumbags and they refuse to care anything about the American people, all because they want insurance for illegal immigrants? And next time around, can we actually get you on our side? Because you see, we wouldn't have stopped your SNAP benefits. Y'all wanted to come out here and play all these little games and have your little protest and wear your little costumes. And now you may not have food for Thanksgiving. Yet somehow you still want us to figure it out for you.
Exactly. If you can't afford a pumpkin, don't buy a pumpkin. These entitled people just keep trying to normalize draining government assistance so they can just pretend to live a lifestyle that they're not willing to work for.
I thought y'all was joking about the food stamps. I didn't think they would really do it. But they did, and now I'm thinking like, I literally just ate my last box of waffles. I'm not gonna cry on here because y'all try to make me be like some clown, and I'm not a clown. Watch, yo. When I get my money up, I promise, yo, I'm helping every single mother I see. Any single mother I see, I'm helping them. Because y'all love to down single mothers because you want to take our food stamps. No, I don't get no waffles. Like, this is crazy. Y'all don't have no money. I spent my $50 because I knew I didn't have to pay rent. So I went and spent my $50. I have nothing. Nothing, yo. This is wrong. This is so wrong.
This is right. If you're that low on income and you only have $50 for rent, then you shouldn't be wandering around the store hunting for waffles in this case. What you need to do is be looking for job application because you're in survival mode now.
So since everyone thinks that I have a problem with committing 15 hours a week of my time to community service so I can continue to receive food stamps, yes, I do have a problem with it. I'm going to explain to you why. That is my personal time. First of all, 15 hours a week. Do you know how much time that is taken out of my schedule? Second of all, I don't get to choose where I do my hours at. They're going to put me where they have placement for me. Does that make sense? Why don't I get to choose what I'm doing for those 15 hours? That is my personal time. I should have full discretion on where I'm spending those 15 hours and putting that much time and effort just so I can receive my food stamps, my $4,200 in food stamps a month. Like, the guidelines have obviously changed.
You can spend your 15 hours however you want, but if you feel entitled to taxpayers' money, then the government has every right to set expectations for how you use your time. So you don't get to have it both ways.
One thing for sure, two things for certain. I might not get no food stamps, but let me tell you, baby, I don't play when it's time to come to my kids, because they gonna eat all the time. They cut my food stamps, y'all, and I had to spend cash. But baby, don't you ever get it twisted. Don't you ever get it twisted. You feel me? Because they going to eat all the effing time. Don't play with me. I'ma feed mine. Looking like a whole snack. And I got some oxtails cooking in the bag. You feel me? And my kids want some chicken nuggets, fat and moussa. I spent $441 cash. Oh, the government said I make too much money. I was crying at first, but you know what? I ate that.
Well, the government tried to encourage you to eat healthy, but you're going out of your way to spend your own money to feed your kids junk? I mean, then go ahead, right? At least you're not doing it with EBT anymore.
Millions of families still don't know when or if they'll get the help they need to put food on the table this month. In case you missed it, following multiple court orders last week, USDA agreed to release partial SNAP benefits for November, warning it'll be a difficult process with potential delays and errors as states adjust their systems, while also announcing it would not transfer additional funding to SNAP, which would have allowed families to receive their full SNAP benefits for the month and receive them much more quickly. USDA followed this announcement with guidance to states today, directing them to move forward with the partial SNAP payments for November. And before you ask, yes, we did see the message the president put out today, claiming benefits wouldn't be sent to families. In practice, though, USDA is moving forward with partial SNAP benefits, which at least begins the process of getting some food assistance to families. But it puts an enormous strain on states to carry out and ultimately leaves families still unsure how they'll put food on the table. I know talking about background processes is small compared to getting people food right now, but calculating partial benefits is way more complicated, which means it will take longer for families to get the help they need. Beyond it being just really frustrating to see so much conflicting messaging from the administration and that it took a court ruling for USDA to release the money, the courts made it super clear. The SNAP Contingency Fund was created so Americans could continue receiving benefits even during a shutdown. USDA has the authority to transfer additional funds to provide families with full benefits. They're just choosing not to. So where the heck do we go from here? Our stance remains the same. Families and kids need food now. USDA can and should pay full November benefits immediately, and Congress, which is poised to break the record for the longest shutdown in history, must instead break its impasse and reach a bipartisan agreement to reopen the government that protects kids by fully funding our nation's nutrition programs.
Yeah, the situation is pretty insane now because some people abused the EBT system and the government had to tighten up its SNAP benefit policies, and now a lot of genuinely deserving people just are gonna really feel the impact they already have and have been. So hopefully things get really figured out soon.
I am on my way to deposit what is very likely my last Section 8 check. Because with the government shut down, the public housing authorities have said, look, I don't got it. So what do you do if your tenants can't pay? And there is a good chance they can't, because look at how many people receive housing vouchers in every state in America. It's a lot. All right, let me pull into this bank before I stop and answer your question. In my last video about this topic, I gave you my whole process to figure out what to do in this particular moment in time.
Section 8, SNAP, and the shutdown.
I want to focus specifically today on rent relief. If your tenants cannot pay their rent, or you are a tenant who cannot pay your rent, I want you to Google your state and rent relief and see what pops up. And look at what I immediately get. Information for the state, information for national relief, information for mortgage relief. Look, I'm finding stuff I wasn't even looking for. And it already gave me national programs and state-specific programs. Now I get county-specific programs that only work for those particular counties. Now I get area-specific programs that work for a number of different counties. Got a little action happening behind me a little bit. I'm going to save those numbers, and then I'm going to call them and ask, hey, my tenant cannot pay for XYZ reason. Does that mean they still qualify? If yes, what is the application process? If no, I cross it off and keep going down my list. And then what's going to happen in their online payment portal, their Rent Ready portal, as they pay or as these programs pay out, I'm able to deduct from that month. So every partial payment that comes in from every program can be accounted for and tracked, which will also be important for me when I'm filing at the end of the year. And this is a super side note, but I and my bookkeeper need to remember who we're receiving all of this money from, because we will be getting 1099s from these people. And we need to make sure everything is organized when we go to file our taxes in 2026. And if you think RentReady could help you with your organization, please don't hesitate to use my code to get 50% off your subscription for the year. And hopefully this helps you mitigate as much damage as possible for your tenants during this shutdown. Let me know if you have any questions.
That's really kind of you to research, and honestly look out for your tenants during times like these. There are a bunch of people who genuinely really do deserve support, and you're a queen for stepping up to that, so heads up.
Now, if you were a good tenant, paid your rent, didn't cause any difficulty.
I did pay my rent.
Just a second. No, you didn't pay your rent.
Yes, I did.
You only paid, you lived there 2.5 months, and you only paid 1 month's rent.
When I first moved in July, it was under the impression that she wanted to go through a Section 8 program. I'm not sure if you're aware of how the Section 8 program works.
Listen to me.
But I paid my rent.
I practically wrote the Section 8 program. I know
in the
what
month
the
of
Section
July,
8 program.
in the month of July.
Did she really just say that to the judge? The ignorance here is extremely much so off the charts. She's standing in front of someone who could practically write a law book by hand if she wanted, and she's still trying to talk over her. Hilarious.
I'm a physician, and I use SNAP benefits all 4 years of medical school. I lived in the city of Chicago during medical school, and I lived off of whatever, like $30,000 a year federal loan refund I got, and it just simply was not enough to live on in the city of Chicago. Unlike a lot of people who go into medicine, I wasn't bringing any generational wealth with me. I was fully financially independent, and while I was lucky enough to be living with my husband, who was my boyfriend and fiance at the time, it just still is not enough money to live on and feed yourself with. Not only does cutting SNAP benefits mean there are going to be millions and millions of children in this country who are going to go hungry this winter and beyond, there are a lot of people with hopes and dreams and goals and aspirations who have to get through a period of their life where they're going to be pretty financially unstable. And for me, that period of my life was medical school. Having SNAP benefits meant that I had consistent access to healthy foods. It allowed me to put my financial resources towards professional necessities like board examinations and residency interviews. And it truly got me through what would have been a much more difficult period in my life. And it is an absolutely gigantic mistake. And a public health disaster, cutting SNAP benefits for people in this country.
How about the idea that you work part-time after school instead of sitting in your dorm room living off SNAP benefits and filming online rant videos? That's just a genuine opinion that would probably put you in a better position. SNAP is for people who actually need it. And if you're using it just because you don't want to get a job, that's no one else's fault besides your own.
I'm so dumbfounded right now. There are people that genuinely think that people who use EBT don't deserve soda, candy, or desserts. You're gonna tell me that my daughter doesn't deserve a popsicle? You're gonna tell me I don't deserve to get brownies? You're gonna tell me I can't have Dr. Pepper with my dinner? And all I'm hearing is, be grateful, it's free food. Get off of your throne of entitlement and take a look around you guys. Everyone is one bad day away from being homeless or even needing government assistance. Do you guys not see how that makes you look? Your lack of empathy and understanding is outstandingly atrocious.
What your kid deserves more than popsicles and brownies is a parent who's willing to work hard and provide for them instead of relying on the government for everything. Welfare isn't supposed to be an excuse to stay lazy, so get out there, grind, and live the best life. Anyways, that is the end of the video. If you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel to never miss content like this in the future, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay strong.